All right. They have a seat.
Thank you. So I'm actually going to take a quick look around if you don't mind.
Okay,
And then while you're
that's fine.
here, if you don't mind just filling out some of this paperwork.
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely. And what is this I'm filling out?
So this is just a seller's disclosure. It's just a little bit of information that you know about the property. If you don't know the answer, just put unknown, okay?
Okay.
And I'll be right back. I'm just going to take a quick look around.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
How are we doing? Any questions?
No. Oh, good. And we're ready to hear what you have to say.
Awesome. Okay. So I have 3 real important questions for you, Haza.
Yeah.
So do you have to sell your home?
I would like to sell my home. Yes.
You would like to sell your home?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I'm looking. So basically, I've been in this house for the last 10 years.
Right.
I'm getting ready to send my second child to college, leaving me with one.
Okay.
And it's just, I feel like it's time for me to downsize. It'd be best for us to just downsize. And I'm pretty flexible right now because my son is driving, so I don't need to, drive him to school and things like that. And I think I'm more flexible now to be able to open up my area where I would like to go.
Right, I remember you saying that. So what's important about you downsizing?
Well, the property is large.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of maintenance that I have to deal with.
Right.
And I think that, if I could just not have to maintain the house so much and enjoy a little bit of freedom. I just don't need this big space anymore. I still need 3 bedrooms when my kids come back, but I just don't need to be in a big house like this.
Makes sense. Now, out of curiosity, how much is your maintenance on a monthly basis?
It's a lot. I mean, it's funny because my landscaper is on my Facebook and I see him in amazing vacation. So I think I'm sending him on vacation. So it's a good amount of maintenance as far, just taking care of the yard, the pool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have all the numbers in my head, but it's a lot.
Do you have a ballpark?
I mean, between landscaping, pool, you're looking at anywhere between $6,000, $7,000 a year.
Okay. Okay. And now, if you end up downsizing, where would you want to be? Monthly, all in.
In my payments?
Yes.
Well, my goal is to sell the house and take the equity of this house and buy something else where I don't have a mortgage.
Right. Okay. So taxes, HOAs, if anything like that.
I don't want to go to a condo.
Gotcha. Also, you just want a small property.
I want a smaller house with a backyard with my dogs and stuff. Yeah.
I remember you said nobody uses your pool, right?
Yeah, my dogs use my pool.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. So you're paying for your dogs to swim. Got it.
Yeah.
So now, will you price your home to sell, or do you want to keep it on the market for a long period of time?
I don't want to give my house away, and
Right,
I don't think in this market, from what I'm seeing around my neighborhood, that I see things going very fast, and I see things selling for a good amount. So, I want to price it that it's going to benefit me.
Right. Okay, perfect. I love to hear that. So now, do you want me to handle the sale for you?
Well, like I said to you, I want to try to do an open house this weekend on my own. I did an open house on Mother's Day weekend, and I think that was a mistake. I didn't have a good turnaround of people. I would like to do another open house, and then I told you that I might be interviewing another agent and I know that he sells locally in my town.
Right, yeah. And he's in our office, right?
Yeah, his name is Sergio.
Yes, I'm familiar with Sergio. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great agent as well. So I have 3 goals for our meeting, right? So I want to review your motivation to sell and determine the price, answer any questions you have for me, and then decide today whether you choose to list with me or if I choose to take the listing. Either one is fine. Fair enough?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so let's quickly review the questions I'd asked you over the phone. So you mentioned you want to downsize, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking to stay, you're open to areas, right?
I'm more flexible now. Yeah.
Okay. So now if you had a particular, deadline, I know you mentioned that you wanted to find the right property.
Right.
Okay. So
I want to find the right thing. I don't want to rush out of this house that's why I put it for sale by owner.
Yeah.
Because that gives me a lot more control to take my time to go find something.
Yeah.
I don't want to sell my house quickly and then not have anywhere to go.
Right. That's
and I don't want to jump into something that is not for me just because I need to get out of my house.
Right, I understand. And you are contingent, right? Correct? You have to use the proceeds from the sale in order to purchase the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I've created what we call a comparative market analysis.
Okay.
Okay, now there's two parts to this research. One we call, fantasy land, okay?
Okay.
Where homeowners list homes for. And then part two we call reality.
Okay.
Where real estate agents list and sell homes for. Okay? Now we're going to have to decide tonight where you're going to spend your time.
Okay.
Now the purpose of the comparative market analysis is to determine the value of your home in the eyes of a buyer. So do you know how they determine value?
Not exactly. I'm assuming that they're comparing.
Right. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they determine the value by comparison shopping. So they look at the price of your home based on your features and benefits, and they compare it to homes with similar features and benefits that have recently sold or are currently on the market. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just a quick example, if you were to go to a car dealership, right, and then one car was on the market they were selling it for $50,000, okay? You go to another dealership, and they also have it for sale for $50,000. But this one has Apple CarPlay and fancy rims. So which would be more of value to you?
I'll take the other one that has more stuff, yeah.
Okay, why is that?
They're throwing some extra stuff. Who doesn't want extras, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, what if the first dealership, the one that had no Apple CarPlay or fancy rims, put the house on sale, car on sale for $40,000, which would be a better value to you then?
Well, because I don't care about the extra stuff, would be a benefit, I would go with the lower price. Yeah.
Right, that makes sense, right? Plus, Apple CarPlay and fancy rims don't cost $10,000, so you'd rather pocket that, right?
Right.
Okay. So you can see that if you wanted to increase value, we either lower the price or have more features and benefits for the same price. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So unless you plan on adding more features and benefits to your home, are you?
I don't think I can add anything. I've done everything in the box. Yeah, I don't.
I know. I remember you telling me you know every single pipe and PVC that you.
I know every pipe, every wire, everything about my house. Everything has been updated. I've done everything here.
Yeah.
So.
And I absolutely love your home. I think it's stunning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about price is the only issue it seems like we're going to have to do, right? Okay. So can I show you what I mean?
Sure.
I'm just going to jump around a little bit here because I want to show you something that's a little bit more similar to your home. So we have this property that recently sold, 348 Rodney and 581 Miller.
Okay.
Now, can you tell me what it was listed for?
Okay, 1.345.
Correct, yes. And tell me what it sold for?
1.410, okay.
Okay. Yeah. And how many days was it on market?
7.
Okay. How many bedrooms?
4.
How many bathrooms?
2, 1. Okay,
yeah.
So
full
just
bath,
like
half.
my house. Okay.
Exactly. And then here, tell me the square footage.
3,053.
Yes. So it has a little bit more square footage. You're at 2,841, I believe. Okay.
That's it?
That's it? That's all your house is? Your house is huge.
Okay.
You said you don't want to maintain it, right?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. And then we have 581 Miller. Okay. What did this one sell for? Listed.
425.
Okay, and what did it sell for?
1.5. Okay, so I'm in a good position.
Right, yes, right. I think so too. And how many days on market?
6.
Okay. And square footage?
2592. Okay, so mine is a little bit bigger.
Right, so you're superior here.
Okay.
Now, the one thing I am going to say are these are center hall colonials. You're considered a split level.
Yeah.
And I believe you are what we call a sugar maple design.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I'm going to jump back over here. Mm-hmm. And we have, because these are split levels, I do have to consider them because the style makes a big difference, especially for buyers. colonials are a little bit more desirable and people are willing to pay a much higher price versus a split level. Okay. So this one we have 500 Old Woods. Now, this is a little bit further than what I would like to. I usually like to keep you a little bit closer, within a mile. However, if we don't have that information, I do expand out to the whole town. Okay. Okay. Now, this one is a split level, and it is a sugar maple. Okay. Now, what was it listed at?
$899.
Okay. And what did this sell for?
$852.
And then how many days on market?
26.
Okay. Right. So now here, and how many bedrooms?
4 bedrooms.
That's
2 and 1.
Okay. And your square footage?
2096, so mine is bigger. Okay.
Yeah, it is bigger, and to be honest with you, this one is a little bit more outdated, right? So when we do adjustments to the property. So we compare it to yours. We make adjustments so that once we do those adjustments, we would show what your house would actually sell for. Okay, when you compare it to this one.
Got it. They have pools, these homes?
So this one does not, and if you see here where I highlighted it, it has none. So I give you a value of $32,000 for the pool that you have. Okay.
I spend way more than $32,000 on a pool.
Yes, I completely understand that. Okay. But sometimes we don't get dollar for dollar back on what we put into the home. Okay. And now, so this one also 488 Payne. So this was actually our office as well. Again, split level, and this is probably the closest property to yours. Okay. And what was this one listed for?
$889,900.
What did it sell for?
$900,000.
Days on market?
6.
Okay. So we're gonna keep going. What's the square footage here?
1,710. That's little. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I did give you an adjustment of basically $197,000, right? Okay. Again, I don't like to use certain things like that, but when you're in that close of a proximity, when an appraiser comes in and values a property for a buyer that comes in, they are going to consider these. Okay. Okay. So now, what price do you think that we should use to create value in the eyes of the buyer and get them to decide to buy your house versus the competition?
Well, right now I'm listed as a for sale by owner for 1.4.
Yes, I understand that.
So that's where I would like to be.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty reachable because there was another split level by me that it went for much higher. And they're under contract right now. I just happen to know the owner, and they're getting, like, it's right next to the highway, like literally right next to the highway. They got more, and it's completely outdated. It needs all the work. Doesn't have a pool.
Did he tell you what they're under contract for?
Yeah, they're in the mid 900s.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So after going all of these numbers and through all of these adjustments, I'm actually going to recommend a price of 1.3, Giza. Okay. Now, how do you feel about that?
I think that we're $100,000 lower than where I want to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So based on that, I have a couple of really important questions for you. So specifically, why do you feel like your house is worth $100,000 more?
I just redid my kitchen. I just redid my bathrooms.
Yep.
Everything has been updated.
Yeah, I saw that.
My backyard is enormous compared to a lot of my neighbors. I think that people will see the amount of landscaping and work that I've done. Yeah. And see the value right there, because whoever moves into my house, they don't have to do a single thing. They just have to move in.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And listen, I love your home. However, I've made adjustments like we just went over for the condition of your property, the bathrooms, the bedrooms, right? So when we make those adjustments, the 1.3 is what I come out to. Now,
when did these sell? Like, what's the
these are all within the last 6 months.
Right. But I heard the market right now is incredibly...
Yes.
You know, I have, like, other real estate people that I talk to, and they tell me, like, all the time, like, oh my God, you should sell it right now. So
absolutely. And to be honest with you, the most important factor is the price point, right? So when you're looking at properties, for example, right? If you see a house that's on the market and two of them are similar, and one is listed for 1.3 and the other one's listed for 1.35, which one would you go for?
Well, the 1.3, I understand that.
Right.
But, right.
So wouldn't you want that extra $50,000 to do what you wanted to the house?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a low price.
I mean, so I don't feel like the 1.3 is low. However, this is probably the best choice in terms of getting the most buyers in your house and creating that value to get you, essentially higher. If you were to go up a little bit higher, I think you're going to get a smaller pool of buyers. So, the research that we've done is strategically when you price it a little bit less, and that's a conservative number, right? So I'm doing this so that you can get the most amount of people in your home to walk in and see the value in your property and have a bidding war in terms of people, bidding up higher versus being up in price to 1.4 and then maybe potentially having to negotiate down, right? So at least for me, what I do with buyers these days is, I tell them to go a couple $100,000 honestly under asking, under what their budget is, so to be prepared to go for higher, right? So if you have a buyer that's budget is 1.4 and they're going to look at maybe a range of 1.2 or 1.3 and you're at 1.4, they're not going to see your house, right? Because they're not looking to do that. So I think it's important to get a bigger pool of buyers, have them come through your house, have see all that traffic coming in, and I will have a very busy open house and have them, create that urgency for them to put in an offer and bid on your home. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Now, go ahead.
Well, so 1.3.
Correct.
Let's just say I get 1.3 for my house. On top of that, closing costs and your commission.
Right.
What is that going to look like for me?
So I can have a net proceeds sheet drawn up for you and let you know what you walk away with.
And what is your commission?
6%. What is that?
That's high. Yeah, that's high. I'm not seeing people paying that much. Why is your commission so high?
Well, so what are people offering?
I'm seeing friends of mine that paid 4% to their agents, and then I hear that we don't have to pay commission anymore to agents. Is that's something that's in the works, and it could potentially happen. And listen, we don't know where that's going to end up taking people. If you ask me, I personally feel that it's probably going to hurt sellers in the long run because you're now imposing a commission onto the buyers that are going to be putting, an offer in on your home. And when they account that into, what their costs are going to be, I don't feel that they're going to be as motivated or they're not incentivized as much to go as high as they would potentially go if they didn't. So I don't have data yet to support that, but that's my intuition. So if you were to, when we start going out to look at houses for you, and you now have to cover my commission, would you go higher on a property than you would normally go if you knew you had to pay my commission? No. No.
Right, exactly. So, I strongly still suggest to my sellers that they do give that incentive for buyers to come in and offer a lot more on their property versus if they had to take that 2.5% and roll it into their offer.
Okay. So no offense.
Yes, that's fine.
We are starting at a price that it's much lower than I anticipated.
Okay.
And on top of it, a 6% commission, which I do feel like it's high. But if, let's say, like you mentioned, if you are going to help me find another home, then you are also earning commission on that. Right? So I would feel more comfortable, like, coming at a lower commission and have you represent me, or what would stop me from just going to the listing agent and just making an offer directly with an agent? I don't see the benefit in paying here and then potentially having to pay on the other end as well.
Well, why would you want to go to the listing agent?
Well, because then, I could maybe get the house, and I don't know. You tell me. I'm new at this.
I represent you as the seller, so I have a fiduciary responsibility to you and to represent you. So I have your best interest in for me. So I don't know why I would not go to somebody who is already, basically loyal or has a fiduciary responsibility to someone else. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would want somebody to represent me wholeheartedly and, not feel exposed, right? Because they would know your finances, they would know your whole situation. So I wouldn't trust somebody that is already, has a loyalty to somebody else and to make sure that they get their house sold.
Right. I'm not comfortable paying 6% commission. Is your commission negotiable?
Well, it's really not. And do you understand how commission works?
I think so, but you can explain it to me.
Okay, so the 6%, right? So right off the bat, we give away half to buyer brokers that come in because I cooperate with all of the brokerages in the area, right? So 3% already goes there. Another 1% goes to my brokerage because they charge me a lot of money, and then another percentage goes to my taxes. I've got to pay Uncle Sam. And then the other percentage is really how I, pay my bills, I do your marketing, and that's how I promote your property. So when you tell me that somebody's paying, 4 or even 4.5%, I really don't see where they're making money or where they're cutting corners, because I know they have to pay their taxes, they have to give out a buyer's, broker, commission, and they have to pay their brokerage. So where are they? And I'm assuming they're paying their bills. So I'm not really sure where they're cutting their corners. The only option looks like promoting your house, right?
Yeah, I would be comfortable listing at the current price that I'm at and seeing how that goes, because I am getting calls from people. I'm gonna test out on my own this weekend, and if I don't get any offers this weekend, my next option is to list it.
Okay.
I would feel comfortable at a 4% commission if you can do that. But like I said, starting low, paying higher commission doesn't make sense for me, and I would rather than just sell it on my own and save the money,
So, Hazel, let's say that, you continue to try to, sell it on your own. How long have you been on the market?
It's been 2 weeks. So last weekend was my first open house. Right, last weekend was Mother's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, so that was my first open house, and then I was going to try one more weekend, yeah.
Okay, and then so did you have a lot more buyers calling you or agents?
I had agents. I had a few agents. I had a few buyers that made appointments but then didn't show up. I haven't gotten any offers yet. Okay.
So what happens if you wait another weekend and then you continue to wait, and those monthly, bills that you have in terms of maintaining your property, the $6,000, you continue to pay that versus putting the money in your pocket? How's that going to make you feel?
I don't want to sit on the market. That's why one more weekend, which is right around the corner, it's not going to hurt. I would like to talk to Sergio as well, because he sold the house next door. I don't know him, but he sold the house next door. I don't know what his commission is. Yeah. I wanted you to come to my house and see the price and kind of let me know if I'm on the right track. But I like you, but it's just, the price and the commission I'm having a hard time with. Okay. And if that can be negotiable and we can try to sell it a little bit higher than that 1.3, I feel like if I list my house for 1.3, I'm only going to get lower. Okay. And that scares me,
Okay, I understand that. So besides the price, the 1.3 and my commission, is there any other reason why you wouldn't list with me today?
No. I would love another opinion, but no. I saw you gave me your marketing stuff, and I think that was the route that I was going to go anyways with an agent. I was here just testing out the waters and see if I could do this on my own.
Yeah, and who wants to do another open house, really?
Well, you can do it.
Well, I mean, of course I can do it. If we sign the paperwork, of course I'm going to do it. So I'm going to be very honest with you. The 1.3, I feel very strongly about, okay? Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And this is the best way to get the most people in your house. I don't feel at this price that you're going to get below. Okay, I do this every single day. I know the market, and I know buyers, right? Once they see that urgency and once they look around the property, because again, there's 2 houses on the market currently that are in this price point, right? You have one on Alex Court and one on Daniel Court. So Alex, I believe, is listed at 1.199. Okay, now it's a great house, but you're completely renovated, right? So buyers are more willing to pay a premium when you're already renovated and you just have to move in. Okay, the other house on Daniel is bigger. That's 1.279. So again, you're already higher than the 2 that are on there. So you do want to beat the other offers out, or you do want to create more value between those 2. The positives that you have is the pool, a gorgeous yard, and really a stunning home, really. And I want to do what's best for you. And I know that I can do that at this price and get you the most that the market is going to bear.
At this price, where do you think I'll land?
So statistically, for example, these 2 properties, the one that was on, Miller and Rodney, so these are the most similar to you, right? And these sold for 4 and 5% above list price. So you're looking at anywhere between 4 and 5%, maybe more. That just depends on how many people we get in there. And listen, if you're at a lower price point where there's going to be a lot more attention on your property, there's a much bigger chance that you're going to find that one buyer that's willing to pay 1.45. I don't know. I can't promise you that. But I know that this is the best chance that you're going to get what the number that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. If I get any lower than 1.35, I'm not selling.
Listen, and there's no pressure for you. Wait. Yeah, there's no pressure. Listen, I completely understand that. But I think in order for you to get 1.35 or higher, this is the best way to go. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your commission?
So are you good with the 1.3?
I mean, like I said, if I don't get 1.35, I'm not selling. And that's my bottom line.
I 100% understand that. But are you comfortable listing at 1.3?
If you're telling me that I'm understanding the strategy, and if you're telling me that that's going to get me more attention,
yes,
I'll trust and I'll go with the flow.
Wonderful.
Anything less, I'm just pulling my house off the market.
Okay. It's fair enough. I guarantee you won't be upset or disappointed.
I'm disappointed at the 6%, I'll be honest with you, because that is high for me. It's not where I want to be. I am offering 2% right now to any buyer's agent that, are paying, but paying the 6%, I would like to negotiate that with you, because at 6%, it's I'm going to talk to another agent and see what they're charging.
That's fair. I mean, listen, and I know that there's plenty of agents that are willing to reduce their commission right off the bat. So here's what concerns me about that, right? Mm-hmm. So if somebody's willing to just drop their commission, I don't see how that they would be willing and able to fight for your property and negotiate on your behalf. So Haza, I'm a bulldog and I fight for my commission. I know what I'm worth, and the 6% is what it's going to take in order to get you what's more important, netting my commission or what you net at the end of the day?
It's what I net at the end of the day, but it's still, you're taking away.
I know, I get it.
Some percentage of what I would net.
I listen. I completely understand that. What do you do for work?
I was gonna say I'm a realtor. I'm an attorney.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, as an attorney, do you feel like you're good at what you do?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I mean, when somebody comes in and they try to negotiate like what your fee is, would you be willing to, do the work for them, or do you stick by your guns and you know what you're worth? And would you rather work with people that you know you're gonna do a good job for.
But so, and forgive me, but as an attorney,
yeah,
I can negotiate the sale of my house, and that's why I felt that it would benefit me if I just sell it on my own, because I'm not worried about the negotiation part. I can negotiate with buyers.
Yeah.
I have not heard of anyone paying 6% in real estate. I would like to see, I talk to other agents that are. I mean, I have no idea. The house next door, when I knew the guy who he didn't pay 6%.
I mean, he's in the 900s. That's not even comparable to yours, if you ask me.
I don't know.
Listen, I mean, I get it, and I know you're an attorney and you know how to negotiate, but you've been on the market as a first sale owner for a week or two. Right. However, I know how to negotiate with, other agents, and to be honest with you, I have great relationships with everybody in the area. So when I put a house on the market, they know that what I'm bringing to them is going to be a great house, and they're going to want to work with me. I don't work with just any realtors, right? Because there's thousands of realtors, thousands. Sergio is one person that I would really welcome into the property, and if he has a buyer, I'd love to work with him, right? He would be somebody to do well with and work with. But you want the top 5% to come into your house because they're the ones that qualify the buyers, and they're the ones that have ready, willing, and able buyers, not just any agent that's going to come through and allow all of these other offers to come in.
Do you have a buyer for this house?
I work with a lot of buyers in the area. Do I have somebody particularly now? No. But there's plenty of other people that have buyers that come in. And again, one of the other things that I do is when those offers come in, I filter through every single one of them. And there's many factors to consider, not just, their pre-approval, qualified, the agent that they're working with, the terms. I look at all of those things and I bundle it for you and I present it and I tell you what's the best. Because not the highest number is not always the best offer.
So if you represent a buyer for the sale of this house, you are getting the 6%?
Correct. Yeah. Look, if I end up bringing a buyer, we can negotiate. I can do 5.5% for you at that point.
Okay, I'm comfortable at 5%. Okay.
If I bring a buyer.
No, total 5%. If you bring a buyer, we can have that conversation afterwards. But I will list for 5%. I know that that's where I'm gonna head is listing it.
Okay.
I don't have time. I'm busy.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't have time to do this. I could sit here and make flyers and go door knocking myself, but I don't have time.
Right.
So I know I'm gonna list.
Okay.
But the commission is important to me, and I respect your job. I want you to get paid. But I need to net the money.
Most, yes.
I need to make it easier for me as well.
Okay.
And at 5%, I would feel comfortable giving you a call after the open house and saying, okay, I like you.
Yeah.
You seem pretty strong.
And listen, I am. I promise you will not be disappointed. Yeah. I do this every single day. I watch the market every day, and I negotiate the hell out of offers, especially for. Listen, to be honest with you, I would buy your house. I love it.
Let's negotiate. So
I wish I was on the market.
At 5%, I will give you a call on Monday after my open house.
So Hazel, look, I really like you. I think that I could do a great job selling your home and getting you the most money. If we sign today, I would be willing to do the 5.5%. And then if I bring a buyer, we can, discuss that afterwards. How does that sound? But there's one more thing. If I get you more than 1.35, even $1 more, 7%.
No way.
Why not?
No way.
Come on, I'm committed to you.
You're fired. No way. No.
Okay, so today, 5.5%, and if I bring in a buyer, we can negotiate that afterwards. How does that sound?
After the open house, I'm gonna...
Listen, I'll do the open house for you.
And what happens if you bring a buyer? Like, what happens if there are buyers here?
Where?
That come to the open house and they want to buy my house this weekend.
Well, listen, I mean, we signed the listing paperwork today, so we can negotiate what the commission is at that point.
I'd rather negotiate now. I mean, if you host the open house for me, a buyer comes in.
Yeah.
We're still at the same price?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. I will list after the open house. I need to see if I can sell it on my own just this weekend. Give it one more fair chance for me.
Okay.
I will, going to be very transparent, have another agent, call Sergio, see what his commission is. I like you. If you can do 5%, I will sign with you, but would rather wait till after the open house to commit to 5.5.
So 5% today, and you list with me, no open house, no Sergio.
5%, I list with you, no open house, no Sergio.
I know, I can tell. I feel like you feel I can do this for you, and I can.
Yeah.
I would do the right thing, Hazel, if I were you.
Okay, I just want to make it clear.
Yes.
I will not accept less than 1.35.
I understand that.
5% commission. If you bring your own buyer, they have somewhat. I would like to have another conversation with you about the commission.
Okay.
And I.
Yes.
I'm getting weak.
Shake my hand. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm ready, and I'm committed to you, Hazel. I need to see that same commitment.
I should give her a hard time, right?
You are giving her a hard time. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm sweating over here. I'm like, come on.
At 5%.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
At 1 point. And we negotiate if you bring our own buyer.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whoa. All right, so
my God.
I love it. So first and foremost, we got to clap up again because what a lot of fun.
Thank you, Hazel. I really appreciate it. I do.
I felt like that was so realistic, right?
Kicking my ass over here. I was like, man.
You handle it, girl.
So here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that listing tomorrow.
Yeah. All right.
If you can handle Harriet, you're gonna get that listing.
Well, Bhumika am I. So I want to point out, Bhumika is the one that called the expired. She actually got the appointment. So
you and Bhumika will get that listing. Hazel, you're the first person to give her feedback. So I'm gonna start with you, and then I have Ira, Diego, and Bhumika giving feedback.
Okay.
So please.
All right. So Yolanda did everything. She pre-qualified me. She actually came to my house. She previewed
love it,
my
by
house.
the way. I would buy it. Yeah.
Thank you. And so this was as real come. I'm just not selling it right now. And I would sell it on my own. No. So I think that my feedback to her, I think you did a great job because you just sound super strong and you sound super confident.
Okay.
So like, I was like, you can handle yourself, girl.
Okay, thank you.
You did not know my motivation.
Yes, I agree.
I feel like you kept in the surface, and I think you were a little bit too scared to dig deep.
Okay.
Because I think if you dug deep and you really knew why, I said I have 2 kids going to college.
Right.
There's payments there. I got.
Okay.
One is going to pre-med, one is going to pre-law. I got bills to pay.
Okay.
This is becoming really expensive.
Okay.
So if it was someone that would push back, you knowing that, you could hit a little bit into my feelings a little bit more and know that like this is not just for shit and giggles. This is like I need to get out of these monthly payments.
Yeah.
I think you're just I don't know, like when you left my house, I called Dave. I'm like, she doesn't know why I'm selling.
I asked him too. When was it? I think so, Tuesday. Yeah, I asked him. I was like, I need to dive in more about what, I said, she's not really telling me too much. And he said, just, if you're not sure, ask her.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I can't coach you on this. So you got to do your thing.
And I would say,
Yeah.
if you left my house and you've called me
Okay.
any day before today and say, I really want to help you. I'm just thinking that I'm not understanding why you need to sell.
okay.
This is your new chapter. I'm opening up a new chapter in your book. I want to understand what happened in the previous chapter for me to help you start. And and then I would have given you a lot more, because you would show me that, okay, you're thinking about me even when you're outside my house.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of
very
sense.
much. Yeah.
It makes a lot
Thank
of
you for
sense.
that.
And then it would make me trust you more because you care.
Okay.
All right. But I think you did a great job. You're strong, and you could have asked me a lot more questions.
I agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But okay, that's my feedback. And I felt as a seller, I was weak. I'm losing my mojo.
No, I didn't see you were losing your mojo at all. I thought you were very realistic in the whole negotiation about if you bring a buyer. Like, one thing I will say is I was hoping you were writing the numbers down, because I felt like she was confusing you, and then she got you down to 5, and then she's still trying to negotiate the buyer commission.
Yeah.
It's like, no, hey, it's 5.
Okay.
And if I bring you more money, will you pay me 7? Well, no. Well, then I'm not going to take less.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and do the right thing. We've agreed on the commission. Like, I wanted you to push back, but I felt like she was confusing you because she kept going back and forth. So if you write it down so you know you can stay on track and you know where you are in the conversation, I think that will help you.
Okay.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
You did a good job. I wanted to start off with feedback if I can, because I don't know what's going on with Zoom. I want to give it to Bamika first, and then I want to come to Ira and then Diego. So Bamika, if you can unmute, any feedback that you have for Bloranda, and if it's anything that Hayes has already said, skip it. I don't want redundancy, so you're free. Go ahead and go.
Bamika, I unmuted you, so you should go ahead.
The speakers aren't loud enough.
Perfect. Can you hear me?
A little
bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Why is it so low?
It's just low.
Try it now.
Hi.
Yes, just speak loudly.
Yes, go.
Oh, okay. First of all, great job, Miranda. We're gonna have some fun tomorrow. And Hazel, as always, fantastic.
Yeah.
The only thing is you did great when she was talking about the price, and then she brought up the commission. Fix on the price first and then move on to the commission, because she kept bringing that towards the end. Okay, and you had 2 objections to deal with at the same time. You could have explained with the pricing triangle that this is what happens. If you wanted to show her, if we list at this price, this is the number of buyers that you can get. Also, when she was talking about the commission, what's important? You paying $10,000 more or having more equity, getting more money on your, to show that difference in terms of if she pays 6, this is the amount of money that she could get, sales price to list price ratio. But overall, it was, it was, and also, motivation, why she wants to sell, how would it make you feel if you save some money right now? Because she said that I'm not, if I don't get that price, I won't, I'll wait. So that's all. But overall, it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bamika. I will come to the other people, Alberto and Beverly, after Ira and Diego goes if we have time. So Ira, any feedback?
I took a lot of notes. You did a fantastic job. I'm really very proud of you.
Thanks.
I think that we're so ingrained in terms of learning the listing presentation. When knocking on the door, you could have said it's 8:30 and we had an appointment.
Yes.
And that's may I come in? After the walk around that you did, when you came back, you could have pointed out something that's particularly beautiful.
Okay.
You said it's a beautiful house, but it's nice when you actually highlight something.
Okay.
Especially after walking around the first time, you could have known about something that that Hazel really, really loves, and once again highlight that. I love the fact that you asked for a ballpark number in terms of what the maintenance is, to really try to dig into what this house is costing her. Hazel, I was surprised that you didn't. When you talked about taking the listing or maybe not taking the listing, you could have paused at that point, because that's a point when the seller would say, "Why wouldn't you take my listing?" And you plant the seed of doubt, and pointing out why it's so important to do a great job. There were a couple of times you spoke a little bit too fast and didn't let Hazel actually finish her sentences, because I wanted to see what would have come out of her mouth and how you would have handled that. Talking about comps, I bring the Jeffrey Otto sheet with me. True, she'd not get back to, you talked about the comp of $32,000 for the pool, and Hazel said I spent way more than that, but then you'd point out, but this is from the expert in New Jersey. This is the expected value we could get back, so we have to be we never get back 100% of what we spend. But we're spending it because we live there, so it's fine for us. But realistically, this is really all we can expect to get back.
And I think pointing out that that's how appraisers see, saying the word appraiser would probably hit home, like, okay, there's another expert.
Okay.
That instantly makes you so much more of an expert when you take other sheets with you. I also mentioned I thought about the pricing triangle. You didn't explain what the 6% commission was in detail at first. And then you actually did make a statement that the commissions are not negotiable. You actually said those words.
Mine isn't.
No, but you actually said those words.
You're right.
That's a big faux pas.
Yeah.
Everything is always negotiable.
Yeah.
So just don't.
Good catch. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. So just don't fall into that trap, because that's really bad. I thought in terms of the 6%, you could have talked a little bit more about your value and what you do, because you are worth it. But you didn't really talk about all the things you're going to do. You were fantastic, but I'm being very picky here because the feedback is important. I would have also taken out my calculator when she kept on talking about what she wants, and you said, well, look at the over asking 4 or 5%. That would be $1,352,000. That would just once again show how much of an expert you are. Fantastic job. These are a lot of my notes.
Thank you so much,
Ira, those were really good. That's what I want. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's great.
And when you were talking about her showing her value, and Hazel said, "Do you have a buyer?" And you were like, "No." I was hoping you would say, talk about reverse prospecting and showing your value and things you do to actually find the buyer. Right?
Yep, no,
good job.
Oh, the one more tiny thing I would have said, now that you know that she's already been trying to sell it for at least a week at 1.4, I like to say, how's that working for you?
Yeah. Dr. Phil, there we go. How's that working for you?
Yeah.
And then Hazel kept talking about, I'm a lawyer, I can negotiate. And I can appreciate that.
Right.
But when does the negotiation come into play?
Yeah.
After you get an offer in.
Right.
Your job is to bring the offer in. So yeah, she could potentially negotiate.
Right.
But to Ira's point, how's that working for you? She doesn't have an offer to negotiate.
Right.
Your job is to bring those in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Diego, thank you for being here, man. What do you got?
All right. Well, first of all, awesome job.
Thank you.
Great job. You were very powerful. Like your energy was definitely there. Great job. Hazel. Good job on being tough. And you gotta promise me that when I'm up there, you gotta be here giving me feedback. That's great feedback. All right. So a lot of the stuff that I had written was already said. So the only thing that I really wanna go back to, and sorry for the redundancy, but it's motivation.
Yeah.
All I heard was $6,000 a month.
Right.
And that's it. But it's when handling objections, it's important to just hit the pain, hit the pleasure.
Okay.
I heard a little too much of I instead of the market is telling us.
Okay.
This is where the market, is telling us to be.
Okay.
I think, let's intend to remove that as much as possible from our language.
Okay.
When she said, "Do you have a buyer for this house?" If I had a buyer, we would be sitting across the closing table instead of a listing appointment. So, maybe just something like that. And then that's another point, to reverse prospecting and the things that you do to find buyers.
Okay.
Body language. Your body language was good at some points, and I don't know if it's because you were you were aware of it, or because you were kind of so in sync with Haza that a lot of times she was going like this, and you did, go back and how do you call that? Mirror match a little bit. I want to see more of that. It was too. I mean, I don't know. We all speak like this a lot of times.
I'm very animated. Yes.
Yes. And same thing with your how fast you speak, right? You're speaking super fast. Hazel speaks a little bit with a softer tone and a little slower.
Okay.
And while she was doing all of this, all I kept thinking is her nails are beautiful. Like, how long are your nails?
I'll tell you where I go.
They're beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, how did you not know that she was an attorney before meeting?
I didn't ask for that.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a little bit important just to see the disc personality. And to kind of, before the appointment. I mean, even if you didn't ask, just Google the person.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, see what they're into. They're into sports, and that way you can find similarities to say, like this and that, and connect.
Okay.
But other than that, I mean, great job.
Thank you.
I do think that with the 1.3, listing at 1.3, and I seem to be very confused about that. I didn't understand that was going to get me higher. And you kept saying, I thought the auction script would have worked beautifully there, because if you had asked me, do you know how auction works? Like, then you would make me understand that, hey, we're just going to start at this price.
Okay.
Because I kept saying, if I get lower, I'm not going to sell.
Yeah.
So I wasn't understanding that there was a strategy that it took a while, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
So, go ahead. Go for it.
Something that I didn't see while you were explaining the price point was expireds, like examples of expired listings, and what that would do to her if the house didn't sell. Just sit on the market, and after a few months, nowadays after 2 weeks, if a house hasn't sold, you're gonna be a buyer. What would you think?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not seeing the expired. I'm seeing things sell. I would hit back. Like, no, it's selling. I'm seeing everything around me sell. Why mine wouldn't sell?
But she would bring you proof of an expired.
Yeah, if there were some.
If there were, show me one expired in my town.
So there was a class that I took it a few days ago. And he mentioned that it's a 24-hour cancellation paper that you can bring it with you. It gives them a more confident that it shows that you know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, and you can make your work done.
Yeah.
So I think I like that at that point to bring it up.
Love that.
This is my cancellation thing, and if you don't see me working, you can always sign this and give it back to me, and I'm fired.
Love that. Love that.
And the little laughs that I'm sorry. The little laughs, awesome. It's like a nice little, bring down everything. Great job with that.
Wait, what was it?
When you just throw your smile and the laugh.
The laugh, the personality comes out. It's really disarming. It's
really
good.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's very good.
So I want to do something before everybody on Zoom starts getting out of here. I want to say a couple of things. Number one, this is the first time I'm actually doing this. I want to present Loranda with the listing presentation verified certificate. You did a great job. So congratulations on that. That's for you. Number one. Number two, for any of you guys who are listening, if you want to be at this level where you can sit across from a seller and have the confidence Loranda had, I want you to go on the chat and just put me. Like, I want to be at this level. Just put me in the chat. Loranda, what I wanted to say to you is I loved how you were isolating, because Hazel was talking about price and commission. You said before we go there, and you isolated the price. I thought that was really important. A lot of my feedback I have for you, they already gave it to you.
Okay.
However, there's one thing I just had a question for Hazel being the seller. You were at this point with Loranda and you were saying, I want to do the open house this weekend at 1.4. And at that point in time, the commission was still at 5.5%. if Loranda has said to you, okay, Hazel, I'll tell you what, put me to work now. I'm going to do all the marketing outline for you, and we're going to list it at 1.4. I'm going to have you sign paperwork that if we don't have an offer come in, Monday the price is dropping down to 1.3. Would you list your house with me tonight so we can see how things go this weekend at the open house?
Absolutely.
Oh,
And so if you had done that, you're now making 0.5% more.
I see. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So I felt like there was a way where you could have closed that and said, okay, let's try it. If that's important to you, this weekend.
Okay.
If we don't get anything, immediately it comes down to 1.3, and then you're still at the 5.5 commission.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't like leaving this whole thing open. If I bring a buyer, we'll discuss it.
I know.
Yeah, that was true.
I didn't
I didn't like that. Well, here's how you handle it. If I bring a buyer, I'm going to be doing double the work.
Yeah.
The commission's 5.5%.
Okay.
That may not work, but that's one way to handle it.
Okay.
And the other way is, well, we're at 5.5, Haza. If I bring a buyer, I don't normally do this, and please don't tell anybody I did this for you.
Okay.
I'll drop it down to 5.
Okay.
Would that be fair?
Yeah.
We know the chances of you bringing a buyer are very slim.
Right. Okay.
However, that makes her feel like she's winning.
Okay.
When you're willing to give her that win, right?
Got it. Okay.
I don't have tons of feedback. You did such a great job.
Thanks.
And the thing that people didn't see is that you were here on time.
Mm-hmm.
Most agents don't come on time, which is why Ira said, hey, it's 8:30 and I'm here. Make sure they know that you're showing up on time, because that points out all the agents that showed up late.
Yeah.
And it helps you stand out. So
okay.
Great job.
Thank you.
Good job.
I didn't sleep, by the way.
I have a special announcement to make for the Zoom people, so don't leave yet. So I didn't sleep either, but I want to say this. I was going to torture you today, but I was going to call Sergio Shortino and have him show up for an appointment.
That would have been fantastic.
I would have actually.
I was going to have him knock on the door and say, oh, are you ready for me? And I was going to say, I'm sorry, I have to wrap this up because Sergio's here. And then I'm like, how horrible is that? Because it has happened to me, by the way.
My God.
And it does happen. So that another agent shows up and you did not finish your listing presentation.
Wow, that would have been really good. Can I say something really quickly? Thank you for saying that about Sergio, because one thing that you said during your presentation was like, if Sergio brings a buyer, I'd love to work with him. In my head, I was like, don't bring up the competition.
Okay.
You're sitting here telling her, like, you like Sergio, he's a good agent, and she's contemplating using him. I'm like, don't bring him up.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I was like, why is she bringing up Sergio right now?
Okay.
Everything else is great, though.
Okay.
All right, what's your announcement?
My announcement is that I've challenged David to do a listing presentation, and he is the agent and I'm the seller. So now if you guys want to see the expert actually do the presentation, I am putting him on the spot. Yes, but this room has to be full to capacity.
To capacity. Or Hazel and I are going to go out to breakfast.
Yeah, then others are leaving. But if you want to see a crazy showdown, it's going to be on Dave and I, boxing gloves and all.
And just know I'm going to have 2 fans up here because Hazel always makes me sweat. But I'll sweat it out. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're going to do it. I was talking to David about that yesterday. We're going to do it.
And I wanted to say out loud, so